Well, I'm going live now, and we'll see if we can get a few people in here. Beautiful Sunday morning here in Cherryville, North Carolina. My wife and I are sitting out here on the deck, out here underneath well, on I guess it's a covered deck here at our house here in Cherryville. And we hope we can get a few to jump in here and chat with us. Let me make sure I got the settings right on this. Hadn't got anybody in here yet. Let's see if we got a few to jump on here as I scratch my nose. There we go. Now we got a couple people jumping in. Hey, Sarge. Hey, Sarge, how are you doing this morning? Yeah. Mechanic Mike. Oh, good morning, Mechanic Mike. Yeah, I've been using a lot of mechanics this week. Well, I tell you what, we've had our fill with some mechanical work this week. We had one where we have I have a guy that does. Yeah, I hope the stream's good today. I try to set up everything where the stream's good. I'm out here on our deck where my, if you see these arches in the background, that's my wife's doing. When we remodeled our house a few years ago, she wanted to make sure and put these arches in. She likes these brick arches, and and you might see my grill right back there. I've got a grill in the background too. Yeah, we had a tough week this week, I guess, as far as mechanical. We've had a good week though. We started off the week closing out. I sold 4 trucks this week. We took 4 trucks that we had at our auction, and we had one gentleman that came by and he bought 4 trucks. I guess he started last Friday and finished it up Monday. Came by and got the last one, and then we had to take a trip down to Savannah, Georgia, to go to one of our corporate meetings in Savannah, Georgia, and go down there and meet with some of the line haul managers and the terminal managers and go over some of the new contract that we're getting with FedEx. And then after that, we came back and finished up we closed out at the end of the week. We closed on the sale of 4 of our runs out of Greensboro. We are now officially out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So I'm clear of that, thank goodness. And we were able to sell 5 runs totally, but we finished up with the last 4 on Friday. Went to the lawyer's office, got all that completed, and real happy with that. I am. That's one less headache. The Greensboro had good runs. We had real good runs down there, but it's because of where it was at. It was just aggravating because of the structure that particular terminal made us go through. They were real strict on us as far as getting in and out and working on our equipment and things like that, and really inconvenienced us a lot. The other terminals we're able to get pretty much full access to and get in there and work on our equipment and do what we want to. But just that one terminal, they had a mind of their own on that. So over the years, we've just decided if we could ever get rid of some, that's where we'd like to get rid of, and we did. So we sold those 5 remaining runs. And we're able to do that and do some reinvesting in some other areas. Of course, I've got my Napa store, or as my wife likes to call it, our money pit right now. trying to get the Napa store up and running good. It's tough. somebody must be coming, as they say. My nose is itchy. But the Napa store, it's going to be a long, drawn out process. Oh yeah, life's too short to be aggravated, Mike. That's for sure. And I never get aggravated, do I? My wife is across from me right now, so she's laughing as I say that. She's having to hold her thoughts. She gives me a pause for correction there, I guess you might say, because she knows that, I can get aggravated pretty quick. Hey, JC, glad to see you jump in here. Yep, JC said hey. You said hey to JC. Okay. Yeah. Miss Barbara's off the screen there, JC. She decided that she would rather not be on screen, although she looks way better than me. You know how that goes. Just sort of like you, JC. You end up behind in front of the camera, and that pretty girl of yours is behind the camera sometimes. So that's the way it is. The girls are a little more shy, and that sort of stuff. But it's been a good week. I'm getting like you, JC. I'm selling a good bit of equipment and everything, trying to, and selling those 4 trucks. That's helping. And of course, I got plenty of ways of spending it. That's the problem. Yep. So you can get out there and really spend a fortune if you don't watch it. It's easy to do, but our money pit right now, like I said, is the Napa store. We've got a lot of inventory. We've got a lot bigger stores. You're investing in your savings account. Well, my wife, well, trust me, we made the sale. We finished up the contract on the 4 bid runs that we sold off this week. And my wife, she took the certified check. She put it in the account. She's got it hid from me. And I'll have to beg to get any of that money back. Trust me, I know. But she's real good with that. My wife is a good bookkeeper, keeps us straight. She accuses me of not thinking sometimes when I'm buying things or agreeing to buy things and that sort of stuff. But it takes a good wife, and she's been a pretty good one. We'll be married how many years? 49 this year. 48. I had to think. We'll be married 48 this year. I had to count on my fingers and my toes with all the years I've got. Yeah, I know it. And well, that's the way mine is. Everything I get's an investment. It gets sold too, JC. And I've learned over the years not to get into loving one thing, because I've got some friends that some of my friends that they find a love for a piece of equipment and they won't get rid of it. And just about every piece of equipment that I own, I'll sell if I need to. Well, 20 for you, huh, Mike? Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, my wife and I, our anniversary will be coming up in October, and it'll be 48, as I was informed. But I do at least remember the month. Oh, me. But, it takes I think as you guys are saying there, JC said he'll come home one day and all the dogs will be for sale. Well, and now that's something that I would probably like. I'd probably like to sell my 2 dogs. My wife likes the dogs. I'm not a big dog fan. Hey, Matt, glad to see you in there. Matt. And we've been working on all of our Detroits and everything this week, trying to get a few things going. Yeah, 2 away from the golden anniversary. That's right. Yeah, we're hoping we can make it. Hey, Greg, how are you doing this morning? Yeah, we're hoping that we can make it a couple more years. My wife and I have been together. We've been together, I guess, 50 something years. Well, not together in the sense of living together, but we started dating in high school. Uh, Back then, that we couldn't live together back then, and not get away with it. But yeah, we started dating in high school, and I married her uh, right after she graduated from high school. She's a year behind me in high school, and 25 years for JC. Yeah, and JC's the new grandpa for the guys that don't know it. Yeah, how's the grandbaby doing, JC? Yeah, JC is going to be experiencing what we've experienced. We've got a teenage grandson. Our grandson doing well, good, good. Now it's a little girl, isn't it, JC? Didn't you, am I hearing? Did I hear that right the other day? I couldn't remember. Uh, but anyway, yeah, it's great to have grandchildren, and I like JC. JC's able to be a grandpa at a pretty young age, and that's going to be beneficial for him. I was in my 50s, I guess. Yes, 8 pounds 3 ounces, 21 inches long. Oh, that's a big baby. That's a big baby. Yeah, because our Dina was 6'9", and then Steve was about the same, or about 7 pounds when he was born. Yeah, that's a big size little girl. Yeah, that's good. I hope everything's healthy and everything. But and okay, Matt's been 11 years married, and your parents 52. So I'm up there with your dad, up there close to it, Matt. Yeah, yeah, and I'm probably as old as most guys' dads out there too. Yeah, born with a form emblem on her and a snap-on wrench in her hand, and you'll have her out there. You'll have her out there changing axles before you know it, won't you, JC? That's something. Lease or long-term lease, what size trailer, Sarge? Uh, yeah, there's a lot of places that will rent trailers. I know if you're looking at, are you looking at 53 footers, or are you looking? Of course, no, you're running, Sarge. You're running hot shots, aren't you? So are you looking at a flatbed? Okay, so you're looking for something. Now you're what, pulling a 450 or a Dodge, something like that. I don't know if you're pulling a flatbed, F350. Okay, yeah. If you're doing an F350, then gosh, you can. Yeah, your dad will be 70 in October. Yeah, he's one of my brothers. I got one brother that's 71 and another one that's 69, and I'm 67. And then my youngest brother is 63. Yeah, but I'm up there close to what some of y'all's dads are. Yeah, gooseneck. What? LOL bump. Yeah, I got a gooseneck. My wife will look at me and say, "You ought to sell it." Yeah, I have a gooseneck, but the title's messed up on that one. That's the one we got the title messed up on.
You have got a title.
I got a title. I got the. It's not. I don't have the title completed. I'd had to get all that mess fixed up. Yeah. A lot of places just want to sell you one like that. You can almost get one. I mean, now the one like the gooseneck that I've got is a 28 footer with a. It's got the. The ramps that fold and the flip up, and then it's got a dovetail on the end of it. It's got a dovetail in, and then the ramps, and it's 28 footer, and it's dual axle. I think it's got the 7,000 pound axles on it. It's not tandem or dual wheels. It's just, I don't know if you need the dual wheels. Now that's what I actually saw a good used one just the other day over here in Kings Mountain. And it looked like it was about a 30 footer. Okay, you can get a 30-foot mega ramp, okay, that's what this was. It was a big Tex. It was a big Tex for 14. Now this was a used one, just like what you're talking about, Sarge. Big Tex, yeah. And I saw one in Kings Mountain. They had it for sale. I have no idea what it cost. I could probably stop down there and see, but it was a used big Tex, and it was about a 30 footer. Yeah. So those 14,000 for 7,400 to 8,000. Yeah, that's probably about right, because the one I bought, that 28 footer, I think how much do we pay for that? And it's been about we paid right at I think right at 5,000 for it, 4,800 or something, but it's been several years. Yeah. If you stay now, what kind of weight dish? Hey, Red Viking or RVT. RVT, as a lot of you guys may or may not know, he's a friend lives over here in Mooresville, North Carolina, but he's traveling. I know he's on the road right now. You're not on the road, are you? Or are you on the road? I think you were saying you were coming back to North Carolina, but RVT has got a big channel out there. He has about 25 or 30,000 subscribers on his channel. That's the one you got yesterday. Is a 2016. Oh, you're about to start your 3-day break. You're headed back to the yard. Okay. Yeah. RVT he's a dedicated trucker. He's on there all the time. And if you want to check out his channel, he talks about the trucking life. Now he's gearing up to do more and more. I'm gearing down to go less and less. Well, I don't drive as much anymore. I drive occasionally, but my primary focus is, of course, is running the business, not what's your legs there? You're shaking my.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, my wife is shaking the table. So if y'all saw that, there's not an earthquake in Cherryville. My wife actually bumped the. Yeah. Load Trail, Load Max, all the same family. Okay. Yeah. Getting back to, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Well, you had guys who had to, anyway, I think I was talking about, I primarily am, trying to manage the business right now. I'm not so much into driving. And, that along with my Napa store and trying to get it running good too. I'm having to kind of shake up some things at the Napa store, and by putting it in a new location, I think that's going to help a lot. But right now, like I said, my wife considers that our family money pit because every time I turn around, I'm putting lots of money back into that just to try to get it going good and looking good. And it takes a lot. Of course, she's proud of the accomplishments we've made on the building. The building, I think we've got looking really good, and we're about 90% there. We put new HVAC in it. We're insulating it good right now. I've got the blown insulation that we got to put in over a suspended ceiling, and hopefully we're going to help the AC on it and everything. Oh, no, I'm not selling the franchise. No, I'm not selling the franchise. Not unless my wife makes me. No, we just bought the franchise about a year ago. We bought the Napa store from a guy that was selling it. He was actually in bad shape, and I understand why. But we bought it from him, and we're trying to make it better. It's in a pretty bad location right now. The location is really hard to get in and out of. It's not really all right. See you, JC. Hate you had to leave so early. Oh, you got a new shop building? Okay, cool, Matt. But we're trying to up the status, or not status so much as it is we're trying to just improve the Napa store. The Napa store, it's been established in Cherville for a long time. It was the only auto parts store. Then there came a couple of more, and then some have come and gone. It's consistently been in Cherville, and through a couple of different owners. Napa stores are independently owned, and the guy that had it for the past 8 or 10 years had continually let it go down, and really put no effort into improving it. And Napa was even getting really upset with him too, and they had pulled his availability on a few things. He was really starving out there, and we came in last year and bought. I bought the franchise from him, and Napa has come in and is trying to help me bolster it back up and build it back up. It's doing pretty good. Well, howdy, there's the Outcast boys coming in there. How you doing, Chris? But yeah, we're trying to get it going better, and maybe one day we'll sell it. My son is an electrical engineer, and he's been at his location for about 25 years. And my son will probably retire before I get to retire, which is a shame. I guess I'm not really a retiring type person, though. I'm gonna probably stay in there until I'm gone. But my son is 45. And has been an electrical engineer for Reliance Electric. And well, right now it's Baldor. If you know Baldor Motors, Baldor Electric Motors. He does that, and he's over DC engineering over at the Shelby plant, and has a good job. But he sees a future in our Napa store, and that's what I want to do. And then we have partners with our FedEx side that I've got a young couple that's coming in, and we're selling them 2 of our routes, and they're going to help Barbie and I manage the rest of the trucks and everything through the network that we have right now with the Charlotte and the Savannah. We've narrowed out, like I said, the Greensboro. We sold off all the Greensboro routes, and we're trying to build up our Savannah, Georgia routes, and those routes are a lot better for us. It's when you get out there and you have trucks that are pulling hills forever and ever, it's nice to get on the flatlands. And I'm trying to get away from all my mountainous routes and a few things like that. I've sold off most of my routes that I sold off my East Knoxville's, and of course I sold off a couple of good Georgia routes too, but that was all tied in with selling all of the routes up there in Greensboro. But that's one of the things I want to do. I want to concentrate on getting more southern routes, and that's the purpose of us going to Savannah. And the Savannah market is really opening up tremendously. I mean, they've really got some the ports down there are just wide open. I mean, if you go down to Savannah and you go around where the ports are and a few of the other places, they're building buildings up there right and left. I mean, Barbara and I were down there Wednesday, and there's one place. It looks like it's got cement. It looks like a airplane takeoff airport. I mean, you could. The cement is so wide and so long, you could actually probably land an airplane on it. It's tremendous, the size warehouse they're putting in down there. And talking about draining the swamp, They talk about Washington about draining the swamp. Well, I'll tell you that in Savannah, they're draining the swamp down there, the actual swamp, because the construction going on down there, they have to, and it's amazing to see all of them, all those swamps actually drained. They cut off all the trees, and then they go in there, and I don't know how they get by it environmentally. You would think all the environmentalists would be all over them by cutting all the trees and being near all those wetlands and everything else. But when it comes to progress like that, I guess they look at it and say, well, this is better for commerce, and the commerce kind of steps on there and does it. Yes, all my routes are drop and hook, Mike. I don't do any live loads at all. Everything we got's drop and hook. Yeah. Amazon's building warehouses everywhere too, Matt. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing like I say, the volume of building is going on right now in some locations. Like I said, Savannah being a port city and everything, that's why I've seen the need to expand down there, because their projections of the loads coming out of Savannah, they're actually turning freight away now because of the fact that they cannot, they just don't have the manpower right now. It's amazing what they've got. And, from the people that live in that area, you'd be surprised at how much freight is coming out of these ports. Yeah. And Memphis. And see, we got, I used to run into Memphis a good bit with FedEx Ground. And I even used to run what they call a triangle run at one time, which I hated, and I got off of it quickly. We used to go from Charlotte to Orlando, Florida, then from Orlando up to Memphis, and then Memphis back to Charlotte. And that ran twice a week, because it would take you, by the time you did all your drops, hooks, and everything else, you had to wait on your loads out of Memphis. It would take you 2.5 days to do that. And it was a good paying run, but I'm just not a team. Some people are into teams. I'm not into teams. I concentrate more into just single in and out. I've got trucks that, well, hello, Mr. Kuhn. Glad to see you in here. What I do is concentrate on single runs going, like I said, from Charlotte to Savannah back into Charlotte, Savannah to Atlanta, and Charlotte to Atlanta. I try to keep more southern routes than anything, because the more western that I get, or northern I get, the harder it is on the truck. And 3M just moved 1 million square foot roof. I know it's unreal. It's unreal, some of the size of these warehouses. They're getting huge in these port cities. Orlando to Atlanta is a decent run. Yeah, any of that, that's good. You're straight up 75. Basically you get over there on the Florida Turnpike. We do, and just get over on Florida Turnpike, run straight up 75 into Atlanta. You can't hardly beat that. It's an easy run. And that's the same way up, even from Charlotte to Orlando, or Charlotte or Savannah to Orlando. All those runs are good runs. And our Savannah to Atlanta is good, because you're just straight over 16 over to 75 up to 675 for us, and then we're there. And it's I like that. Now, going from Charlotte to Atlanta is a rougher route than from Savannah to Atlanta, because the way our terminal's placed, our terminal's on the back side, or the lower left side, on the Macon side of Atlanta. So anybody coming from Charlotte has to run down and hit the worst traffic in the world, 85 to 285, and then Yeah, I like to run into my driveway too. But yeah, 85 to 285 and then 285 over to 675 into our terminal. And that 85, 285, 675, that loop there it's ungodly bad. I mean, that is one of the worst areas I think they've got in the United States. I mean, you can, and then when you run just 285 in general, it's just terrible around Atlanta. And we've got two terminals down there that one in what they call Ellenwood and then one up in Marietta. And when they'll sometimes look at, well, let's just go send you over here to Marietta and say that's great. All right. Well, Clay, glad you jumped in here. Yeah, glad to see you for a few minutes. Doing all that editing, you're put some more pleasant music on there, Clay, for us old timers. uh, yeah, yeah. See you, Clay. Yeah, I'm not much for me. My ears are bad enough as it is, and then when I hear, I'm old. I like pleasant music. I like some of the good beat and everything else. Not too much wild music or I don't know. Of course, you got to watch what you can put on YouTube anyway for the music. But yeah, I'm enjoying a day like today. This is one of my yeah. That's right. I like banjo now. I've got my neighbor down here is a big bluegrass person. He just lived just a few miles from me here, and he was on the Grand Ole Opry just about 6 months ago. So he's good. Him and his wife, they're big into that, and like I said, he's been on the Grand Ole Opry a couple of times. So yeah, and Darren Aldridge is his name. If you want to know his name, he's big into bluegrass, and I forget. It was Darren Aldridge and his wife. What's his wife's name? But they were on with one of the guys that used to be part of the Eagles, and I'm trying to think what it was. But anyway, they were on. They've been on there a couple of times. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of laid back when it comes into the music. I mean, I like a little bit of country music. I'm listening now on my Sirius XM. I listen to what do they call it? It's 80s and 90s country music. I'm not so much into the new country music as I am the old. Well, I like Vince Gill and Garth Brooks and some of those guys and Alan Jackson and that kind of music. But I'm not much into some of their brand new. Sounds like rap and they got them auto tuned in so they can sound in tune. I think I'm not so much into some of that newer country music, but there again, I'm old. I had to admit it. I'm old. I've been at this a long time. Been at this since. Yeah, 80s, 90s country. Yeah, that's what I'm generally listening to. When I listen to country music, and of course, I like some old beach music. My wife and I are big into shagging. We like the Carolina beach music, which is a lot of old 60s and 70s and 80s soul music, beach music, and of course, they have a lot of beach bands in this area. Like Band of Oz and Embers and some of them like that. Yeah, that's right. I like that. The older Frank Foster. I don't know Frank Foster. Now I do like that song that Clay has on his older videos, and I think it's from somebody that's close to him down there. I kind of looked it up because I said, I like that song. The one that sings about the Mississippi mud or something like that. But The good old boy from Louisiana. Yeah, and I like, usually when you get some good old boys from Louisiana, Mississippi, and Oklahoma, and all that, or even some of them in the Carolinas, whatever, they can play some good music. Uh, yeah, that's it. Jamie Davis and the Soul Gravy. Yeah, I like their music, and I think they got a good sound to them. Uh, Saggy pants country. That's exactly right, JC. Yeah, that's exactly right. Saggy pants. Yeah. Uh, I had some young boys. I had some young boys that I hired for the shop this summer, and that's one thing I told them. I said, boys, I don't want to see any butt crack. I said, if those pants are down below the waist, I said, you can just pack your bags and go home. I said, I'm not going to have any of that. I said, anybody that works for me here at the shop, I said, they're going to have their pants up. Of course, unfortunately, some of us older guys, we have a hard time keeping our pants up too, but not in the same way that some of the young boys do. Yeah, yeah, they some of these young ones, I laugh at them. I've seen some on. I watched the show Cops one time. I forget, and I was just laughing up a storm because they had this dude that had his pants way down below his, halfway down his thighs and everything, and he was trying to run away from the cops and hold his pants up at the same time. And I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Yeah, I decided I don't want to see their manis. Yeah, that's right, JC. It's just it's something else. But country and classic rock. Well, I like like I said, I'm country and classic rock, and I don't get too wild or psychedelic. We used to call it psychedelic music when it was when the first hard rock came out. That's what it was called, is psychedelic music back in the late '60s, early '80s, or late '60s, early '70s. Hey, Walter, I see you in there. Yeah. 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 My pants get down further than I like, but that's just because my belly. One guy asked me one time, he said, you've been taking those tablets? I said, what tablets? He said, those no acetol tablets. But he said, because my butt wasn't big enough to hold up my pants, but I keep it up there as best I can. But I don't have much butt, that's for sure. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wear. You'll see me with some suspenders on every once in a while because if I'm actually out there working, those pants do fall down a little bit. Yeah, it's tough to keep up the pants sometimes, especially the older you get, the more you get the Dunlop, or what they call it, the furniture disease, where your chest is already falling into your drawers. But that's where you get. I mean, like hard rock, Metallica, Korn, Black Sabbath, etc. I can take some of that, Matt. I can go. Of course, I'm more liking of Chicago and Boston and Kansas, and these are the groups, not the cities. And that kind. Well, now I actually like Jimi Hendrix. I like some Jimi Hendrix. I like. There's several songs of his that I do like. I don't like all of them, but yeah, Hendrix was popular. Now, I didn't like him as good when I was young as I do now when I can appreciate. I don't know. It grew on me a little bit, but when Hendrix first came out, I didn't care for it as much. I mean, I was a teenager when Hendrix was hitting the charts and everything, and when he came out with Purple Haze and Fire and Along the Watchtower and all that. So yeah, I know those songs, guys. Yeah, Shed Over My Tools. Yeah, that's what I've got. Yeah, that's or as they call it, I got the dicky do disease. Your belly sticks out more than your dicky do. Uh, uh, but yeah, yeah. Janis Joplin. Now she was another one was sort of an acquired taste too. When you're thinking about music, I liked her. I liked some of her music, and some. Of course, she was a wild lady to see if you'd ever seen her in concert. Gosh Almighty, she was a wild one. See you, JC. Enjoy you being in here though. Listen, turn us on and listen to us. We'll ramble on, and uh, got the smoker rolling. Okay, yeah. Somebody's. What are you cooking with the smoker? Yeah, I know it, and that's what happened. That one they call it the 27-year-old curse, or the 27 age 27 curse, because Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, forget who else. There's I think Buddy Holly, a bunch of them died at 27. So yeah. There's the 27-year-old curse. Mama Cass, that's another one. Uh, there's a bunch of them in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that all died around 27. I think even that Kurt Cobain, or whatever that boy's name was, I think he was around 27 years old too. Yep. Kurt Cobain. Uh, there's a lot of them that, and there's a lot of them that, and you think about it, 27 years old. Where were you? Where were you in your mind at 27 years old? You were probably the most vulnerable. I mean, I can think back when I was 27, what I was doing. Even a married man and everything else. You had different ideas of what you wanted out of life. You were still young enough that you wanted to party a bunch, but then, maybe you were mature enough to do adult things, but you're in a crossroads at 27. And it's probably a real defining year of what you want to, you feel invincible. You feel invincible at that age. You're still young. You're still, most of us are still decent looking then. I was a decent looking guy at 27, and had hair back in 20, had a lot more hair at 27. Hair, you had your looks, probably your build's good and everything like that. And you felt like you can do some things. And I think it's probably the reason that so many people died at that age, because they felt like they could do more than they really should, and they experimented too much and that sort of thing. So I think that it's something. It's something to think. Oh, you were in Germany in the army. Well, and see, that's the thing when you were probably, if you were in Germany in the army, Greg, then you're rigid enough because of the fact that you were in the army, but you probably felt like getting out and doing things because you were 27, and it's tough, and you got to think about it. A man at that age is probably at his peak, as far as his testosterone levels and everything else. Of course, I don't know, these 13, 14-year-olds are pretty up there too, but you're at your peak of everything male wise, I guess you might say, that you're going to be. And as a male, you're probably going to be at your peak level right there at 27. Of course, that's been a long time for me. That's been 40 years for me, since I was 27. Yeah, you got to watch it. Yeah, you'll take drugs, wreck equipment, wreck cars, wreck your life. That's what you can end up doing it like that. So it's tough to visualize things. Well, guys, I hope we're just kind of throwing this out there today and just talking about a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm pretty much a easygoing guy. I don't want to ever make it all about me on any of these chats. I like to see what other people are doing and what other people are thinking about, and what uh, you know what's going on in y'all's life too. Well, I hope everybody's enjoying it. I don't want to linger on out here too far and too long. And uh, I'll now that Clay and some of these others have kind of dropped off from their chatting on Sunday morning, I'm gonna probably try to pick that up. And it's a good time for me if it's a good time for y'all guys. And I want to continue on with the group of guys that I've been chatting with for the uh, for the past while. I like to vehicle day, wash truck, and prep for the week's loads. Yeah, where are your loads going, Sarge? Have you got a set route you're going this week, or are you just all over? Yeah, I like this time slot, and that's why I hated Clay got rid of that, and I hope he doesn't feel infringed upon because I've jumped in here. But I just kind of wanted to keep it going at that time, and because I see the same guys out here: JC, Matt, Sarge, Chris, all these guys out here. And your new used truck, what new used truck did you get, Matt? Florida to New York, and then back with a fat, ooh, I don't want to go to New York. Yeah. Now, see, Sarge, you live in Florida, don't you? Aren't you? Am I remembering that right? Well, I hope it is, Mike. I hope it's a good just shooting the breeze, and any topic that y'all want to talk about, I'm game. I'm just out here trying to enjoy myself. A Silverado? You mean you got a Chevrolet? 2-wheel drive, 5-speed manual, 83,000, one owner. Yeah, don't tell JC that you got a Chevrolet. Now, 1500s. Okay, it didn't have the diesel in it, did it? No 2-wheel, 5-speed. So I guess it's gas. So it'd be what size? I don't even know what size engines in those Silverados. West Palm Beach. Okay, 4.3 Vortec. Okay, well that's that. What is that? That's not a V6. That's V8, isn't it? I can't remember. Yeah, that's probably about 4.3. Oh, it's a V6. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember what that was. Yeah, I've got a V6 in that those last two Ford F-150s that I've got that are gas. 4.8 is V8. Okay, I knew it was Vortec short 2 cylinders. Okay. Outgas 5.7. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The 4.2 for the F-150. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I've got one of the, oh gosh, the spider looking intake. Okay. I tell you, all the nowadays, I can't work on the new vehicles. I used to be able to crawl under the cars and work on them. I'm not like JC at all. I'm at the mercy of the shops nowadays myself, because I personally, on my personal vehicles, don't work on them at all. We have the BMW that's got the inline 6 diesel, and then I've got F-150 with the V6. And then I've got the Dodge Dually with the Cummins diesel in it. That's a nice vehicle for us. And then my daughter, I have her a what is it? That's a Hyundai. It's a hybrid Hyundai, which is a nice little car for her because all she needs something to run around town. On my new 150, I had checked with Landon. I said, actually, my partner, Landon's driving that. Now, Landon is the one that is the gas man for the Hendricks team. So he drives it back and forth to work every day from Denver, North Carolina to down to Hendrick Motorsports. And I think he's got, I think the other day he came and picked me up and we had to go grab some trucks down at Clark Power. I had some warranty work done on some diesels down there. And I think he has about 4,000 miles on it now. So he's getting, of course, I asked him, I said, oh, you got 500 the other day. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we hadn't done any heavy hauling in ours yet, of course. And I think Landon said that he was getting about 25 to 27. Of course, he's been running it in the sport mode because he likes it shifts faster in the sport mode, and he likes that and got a little more punch to it. I think. I think he's still Landon's only 29, so he still likes he still likes a heavy foot. And of course, I won't let him put the big wheels on it. The last truck he had his own personal truck. He had a GMC, and he had the tall big wheels on it, and I couldn't hardly get in it. It was like getting in a Freightliner for me. Of course, he's 6'7". I'm 5'10". So there's a huge discrepancy, the difference between our heights and everything. So it's easy for somebody 6'7" to get into one of these that's been lifted up pretty good. And I don't know where the timing chain is on that, Chris. Like I said, I haven't seen the internals of the engine. Now, it's a smooth running, V6. And we were lucky. See, I'm able, because I've got a fleet. I was able to buy that different than most consumers buy it. I was able to buy an XLT, which is only available for the fleet purchasers. I mean, you've got to be, and I'm set up with Ford as a fleet. You can't just go in and say, I just want to buy it in fleet. You have to actually, I had to go in and register all the vehicles that I have to. I think you had to have a fleet of 50. You had to have 15 vehicles, I think it is, because I've got 60. It wasn't hard. Yeah, Hyundai does have a great warranty, and that's one reason I bought that for my daughter, because that little car, and it does great. We've taken it on a trip and got 51 miles to the gallon on it, because that electric, it's hybrid, and that electric motor will kick in. You can be running down the road at 60 miles an hour, and all of a sudden it's as quiet as everything, because the electric motor's taken over, and does pretty good. We took it to Hilton Head, and of course I was trying to make sure it got the best mileage and everything, but I think it was 52 or 53 miles to the gallon on that, and I was really pleased with it. Yeah. I don't know either, Chris. We'll find out. Thank goodness we got a warranty on them, so I'll see. Yeah. Now, how far do you have to drive to work, Matt? You have to drive, what, about 15 or 20 miles to work? I know you said you live over there in the Arkansas side of Memphis. And so, you probably, if you're over working in. So you got the one with the scheduled maintenance and everything. Now, is that the one you're using with your hot shot business too? Or are you going to, Sarge, or is it just a personal vehicle? – 49 miles one way. Good gosh, you got a pretty good haul then, hadn't you? Now you're further than I would be going to Charlotte. Charlotte's only 37 miles for me. 49 miles. Yeah, you better get you something economical. You eat up all your profit in fuel, won't you? Put on this gas, brakes, and AC. Yeah. Well, and that, when you, it's been a long time since yeah. Well, that's what you get involved with. I mean, that's like me. You're talking about being far enough away. I'm 37 miles away from a major city. My little town of Cherryville is only you got it Tuesday night and you've already put 450 miles on it. Wow. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. If the AC works good, then you can handle some of the rest of it in these hot days and everything. Because I know it gets hot out here. That's one thing that we've worked ourselves to death this summer. I've had to have the guy out to do the service on my AC machine this past week because the AC machine was just working itself to death and it was kind of out of whack. They had to go in there and change some of the balances on it and a few other things. Yeah. Okay. Now, are you going to use that in your business, Sarge? Wow. So you worked yesterday, did you, Matt? Yeah. Now, are they requiring you to work, or is that just volunteer work you're doing? Okay. So you got a nice vehicle, then you're going to use in the hot shot business and everything. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I had a friend that was in the hot shot business. He got a 550. Was using a 550, and boy, that thing was rough as a cob. I mean, it was too short, and unless you had a trailer loaded behind it, I mean, it would rode fine then, but gosh, that thing beat me to death every time I rode with him. So I didn't much care for that. And now that's been years ago. He was in the hot. Of course, this gentleman's already passed on too, but he he did a hot shot business for a while. Oh, you're that busy, are you? Yeah, that sucks sometimes, but yeah, we get busier as we get from now on into December is our busiest time of the year for us. Yeah. Yeah, throw her out there and break her in now. If you got 500 to 1,000, yeah, and just of course, the heat and cool cycles are going to be a little bit different now that you put pressure under it. You're going to really change the heat and cool cycles with it now that you put a load under. Because I don't know how heavy a loads can you pull? You probably can't pull more than 20,000 with those hot shots. I don't even know what y'all are limited to. Yeah, you should be fine on that. Oh yeah, you got to make hay while the sun shines. That's for sure. And then that's what we do. We're in our peak season coming up. Like I said, from September to January 1st or 1st of January. You can pull 40,000 with that F-350. Wow, that's a haul center to do that. I imagine it won't get much in fuel mileage if it's loaded up like that. Yeah, you probably get, if it's like my F-350 that I used to have. Well, I still have one service truck. I get probably, well, when it's loaded down, I get 8, 9 miles to the gallon, and then when on the open road, now I get about 15 or 16, when I'm not. Yeah, that's the key is you can pull it, but can you stop it at 40,000? That's electric brakes. I'd be scared to death with electric brakes, 40,000 pounds. I don't know if I would feel good at that. I mean, you getting into air brake territory there for sure. All right, Matt, you take care. I'll try to have this going every Sunday if I can, and I'll see if some of the guys can get out here and we'll chat and enjoy ourselves on Sundays. I'm trying my best to kind of fill the void, because anytime you lose something, you feel like you got a void there, and I think that's what some of us were feeling. I mean, I like talking to all you different guys, so it's enjoyable on a Sunday morning for me to sit in here and chat with y'all guys. Most of the time I've been on the typewriter part like y'all are, or the thumb, but it's good to converse with y'all. If y'all don't mind hearing my right now scratchy voice, you see me, I'm having to get my Diet Mountain Dew out a little bit here. My voice gets the best of me after sitting out here and talking for a little bit. But I enjoy it. I hope all you guys will continue coming back in here on Sunday mornings and everything. I'm gonna try to do this on a regular basis if I can. See if I can build up a little more, crowd of guys that want to talk about tools and cars and trucks and whatever we want to talk about. I think that's the thing for us to do. But I'm gonna end it. I've been out here about an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream before I lose my voice completely. And let's try to meet up next Sunday, same time. I like 9 o'clock instead of 9:30, or if it's guys in Central Time, it's 8 o'clock. I hope that's not too early for y'all, but 9 o'clock works good for me here on the East Coast, and I hope y'all enjoy the stream and come see me next Sunday. I'll talk to you later.